Whenever I walk out into this fog, it really makes me feel like I'm gonna see Herobrine because in those old um videos where they would find Herobrine and stuff, this is like the feel it has of it, if you know what I mean. So so in today's episode, what I wanted to talk about, since we got the spooky atmosphere and stuff for the time being, is my experiences with like weird um phenomenons in Minecraft, because I got a couple stories and I got a couple other little things because most people have a little story. And I'm gonna be straight with you. I'm not gonna lie about anything, but I'm gonna tell you, at least maybe me as a kid, I perceive things a bit differently than they are. But I do have some strange stories which sound fake, but I'm like, no, guys, I'm 100% serious. But when it came to Minecraft and this kind of stuff, it wasn't. Um, I never personally got to see Herobrine and stuff. I do know my cousin, who I was really close with, who I talked about in the past, as he's who I played Minecraft with when I went down to our grandparents and we would play on their tablets and stuff. That was my first per se into Minecraft, was playing beta Minecraft on Pocket Edition. Was the fact that he told me he saw Herobrine once, and I'm assuming he just made it up. I've never asked him to this day, and he's like, "Oh yeah," but he told me he had a screenshot of it, and from what I remember, from what I'm gonna guess it was just him just trying to stir a pot a little bit. Which, hey, don't blame him. If I could do the same thing too, I would. Because unfortunately, they say Herobrine doesn't exist, but again, we do never know. He could exist. They have put in the changelog for many years that they have removed Herobrine. So it does always make you think, and you always wonder if, especially in the fog, if he's just gonna appear or not. You never know, and that's what always makes the myth so interesting. But so back in the day on Minecraft Xbox 360, which is where I spent majority of my time, was playing on there. I had this world where I had this glitch that I've never looked into before to see if it. I don't remember the version of where it was on, but I made a world, and on the world it had there was nothing weird with it really at all. It was just the fact that um I was playing with horses, okay, and for some reason I went to go jump, and the horse could jump really high, like 40, 50 blocks in the air. And I was like, okay, this is really weird. Why is this horse, jumping so high in the air? This doesn't feel natural. So I started testing it. I was building higher and higher. Oh, who put this door here? Is that Hero Brian? But I was testing the horse to see how high he could jump and stuff. And I was like, okay, this is really weird. It's like it was going 40, 50 blocks in the air, and I could test it, and it was going higher and higher and higher. And I can't remember if any other weird things were happening in the world, but the horse had like super jump. And I remember closing the world to go back into it, and the world got deleted. Like generally, like the world was lost, and I don't know of Minecraft just deleting worlds. And this is that one like spooky legend that like I generally believe, because it's not even like, oh, I was a kid. It's like, no, this horse was literally jumping 40, 50 blocks in the air, and then I closed the world and the world deleted itself. It was it was very spooky. It was just so unnerving. I'm trying to think of what the Pokemon ability was of it, and it just completely caught me off guard, and I was like, okay. And I remember back in the day, I tried doing research into it to look if this glitch meant anything, because it had to have meant something, because I'm about I would put money down on it. Like that this isn't real. This isn't just, child me getting caught up in, creepy pastas and, all type of spooky things. It was generally something that I saw and that I believe. I don't know. I want to hear if you guys have any like crazy stories and stuff like that in the day. Did you see Hero Brian? Do you have any like weird mysteries of stuff that disappeared? Do you kind of have stuff like that? That's what I want to hear because I'm trying to think back to some other ones I have. Going back to that old Xbox 360, which there's something about the ambiance of it, which just has like a creepy feel to it. I don't really know. I think it could just be the textures from back in the day. It could be a multitude of things. But I'm sorry, going through a spooky cave telling spooky stories kind of gets me for a second. Let me light up a little area. Let me over in this corner and crap a little bit. But yeah, no, Minecraft 360 version just had that creepy feel to it where it was always a bit just a bit unnerving since I now finally learned what the word was for things. And it always at least had me questioning stuff, like never knowing, because this was also, before the tale of the internet the way it is. I mean, everybody, tried um summoning Hero Brian or, kind of stuff like that, because that was back when you didn't know the internet the way it is now. I never, like tried to go to the Aether or anything, 'cause I never really got into modded Minecraft until later in life, I would say. Maybe it's just a coming of age thing. It's like, you know what? It's time for modded Minecraft. So yeah, I didn't experience that till at least later in life, so I never knew about mods and stuff like that. But I guess another on the tail of that, it always makes me think of some of the crazy dupe glitches that were in the game in these older versions, because I did a handful of them. I think I mentioned this one before, but on old Pocket Edition, there's this very basic glitch. I don't even, I know other people have found it and talked about it before, but it wasn't patched for years. I remember using this glitch for, but it just took more precision as the years went on. But if you went to go take an item out of a chest and you were in a multiplayer world on Bedrock and or sorry, Pocket Edition, and you went to go both take the item at the same time, basically the item would just duplicate both your inventories if you both, put your fingers down the hold at the same time. Because on I don't know if it still works that way, but there used to be a bar. If you held the bar, it would take the item. And I think there was a bit of a timing thing with it where you had to let go of the bar at, the perfect timing for it to work and you to get all of it. Because if you let off too early, you could end up actually deleting items. I think I remember because like you could go from a stack down to like one or like 10 or something like that, from you to just mistiming this glitch. And I was pretty good at it by the end of my time with the glitch and stuff. But I don't know, that to me, when I try to think of these like paranormal, like spooky things, that is definitely on there of it. Another thing was this will relate back to Stampy, which we haven't talked about in a couple episodes, so it's only due. His when he went to the moon and stuff like that, like we all believed it as kids, right? I can't be the only one. I know a lot of people were really shocked, especially watching his what was it? It was Magic Treehouse is what his behind the scenes was stuff was on. He had a podcast with Squid they did every few years, and then they randomly made one a couple years ago, coming back for like the first time in like 5 or 10 years. But he made a video I think on there or on somewhere around adjacent to it where he talked about how he went to the moon and how he had the submarines and it's kind of stuff like that where it's just that creepiness feeling. I've talked on here before that I'm a fan of conspiracy theories and stuff like that. Like it's not like I'm gonna sit here and be tell you 9/11's not real. I'm more like I like just listening to them and hearing what people say because there's just something so enjoyable about watching somebody talk about conspiracy theories. I know the odd one out years ago. He did a video and he mentioned that he enjoys listening to like people with tin hats listening to it. It's not like I'm trying to listen to like, just devastational ones where it's like, oh yeah, by the way, the fluoride in your water is doing this and that. It just I guess to me it's just more fun to just like hear what people are doing and be like, okay, let me think for a second about about your theory, and it's like instead of immediately brushing it aside, I'm like, okay, it's plausible. You're like, okay, this is really cool. That's why another one of my favorite types are debunk videos. And I've talked about this before too. Canadian, he does tons of great ones. He does one on Hissy, which I think I mentioned this exact before. And I've watched a video countless times, and it's so much fun to just watch someone just debunk something. If I were to make other content in this space, it would 100% be something towards debunk videos or something in the regard because I love just conspiracies and debunk kind of stuff like that. That's why another person I watch, I guess we're calling out to the people here, is the Retro Now Gaming when he first made his Minecraft videos. Because originally his first one he made a video about why game theory was wrong and why map hat was wrong. He since changed the title years ago on the video, but he talked about how he thought the Enderman, what the Enderman represented and stuff like that. It was just the monotone of his voice and the just I don't know, just the feel that that video created with some of his videos. I think now he really does like ARG and stuff like that. But it was it's just that type of feeling that I love. It's like a warm, cozy, like mysterious type of vibe, if you get what I mean. And it's always been one I've really enjoyed. But let's see. I was gonna see if I leave the cave yet, but no, we got a little bit more time. So I had some more paranormal ones. That opening made you think like, okay, I have some more. But I had some I'm trying to think of some other weird Minecraft ones. I do have a couple Terraria ones though. If we're gonna talk about the paranormal, really weird glitch I had in my Terraria world. So back this was back in the day too. This is back when I was playing early Minecraft. There was I guess the Terraria world I made was back in the original version of it. So we updated it as studios made more versions. And for some reason, in my main world, which I had all my stuff built on, the dungeon got destroyed. Like, not by us. I think it was like an update version where it took like part of my world where so basically I had my house off to the right side of the map, and then to the right of that was I had the hollow at, and I had like my battle arena, and that's why I'd always fight pixies over there and stuff. And I remember building a little house off to the edge of that so I could set my spawn when I'm in the arena. And when I updated my world one time, for some reason it took from the edge of the hollow all the way to the right and made the world nothing but dirt. Oh crap, I did not need more torches or sticks. So it made my world it made like 50% of my world nothing but dirt. And it was nothing but dirt from all the way up, all the way down. And I guess above level, like it just replaced all the blocks of dirt. And I was like, okay, this is really weird. And the amount of times I tried digging through there to go to the dungeon and stuff like that, and I just couldn't because it didn't lead to anything. It was very strange, and it's just one of those glitches that made absolutely no sense to me at all. Where it's like, okay, how does half of your world get? My guess is corruption is going to be the guess, not to be confused with a biome. But how does half of the world just disappear like that and just turn into dirt blocks and everything behind her gets lost? Luckily, I didn't have my base over there or anything. It was, farther in the world I had that kind of stuff. It was farther to the left side. But still, I never had a dungeon in that world anymore. So that meant every time I wanted to go off and use a dungeon, I had to go to another world. And it's not the end of the world. It was just weird or just a bit annoying. It's like, okay, I have to do all this extra just to go to what should have been in my world already. And there are some other little things in the world too. I think I remember I used to get scared. I was down in hell, and okay, as I try to find my way out, I'll tell this story. But I was down in hell, and it was my first time down there, and I didn't really know how the game worked. I had only ever seen my stepbrother play very little bits of this game, and it was like him fighting a slime and stuff. From the game was even more rough than when I played it, and so what I did, so I was down there, I was burrowing. I think it was like right after school one day, or it was I can't remember if it was. I think it was earlier in the day. I went and I was down there, and a bone serpent flew up at me, and I had no clue they were in the game, and it scared the crap out of me so much that I screamed. I threw my controller down, turned the Xbox off, and I curled up in the corner for like a solid 5 minutes or so because I had no clue that thing could pop out of the ground like that and get it to you because I wasn't in hard mode yet in the world, and I don't even think there was worms in the game yet. I don't really have too many memories of these worms in the game, so it was very scary and off-putting. Where it's like, okay, we're about midday. Yeah, it was. That's probably the one of my funniest or probably most embarrassing gaming moments is that of the fact that I'm gonna just make I'm gonna make this the nail. Who knows what's gonna happen? You'll just have to keep watching, unless you already missed what happened. There's only one way to find out though. But yeah, no, that was generally one of my scariest moments. was was getting jump scared by that thing, and I've still yet to forget. I've still yet to forget that moment, or forgive myself for being so stupid. But again, that's the fun of it, though, is of of me being a kid and just not knowing that kind of stuff. But so what I'm thinking for this is this can be for um when the rails need to get repaired, they can come up here, and then can you place blocks here? Yeah, you can. I think it can go through it as well. Or it's like one of those where you can go up but it can't go down. Might be one of those. Yeah, but up here is where we will put that. Then we we can have a couple on the wall back here. So like if we put one there, do I have to connect it so it stays that way, or will it fall back? Okay, no, it'll stay that way. So the way I'm seeing this from where I'm at is I only have enough room for one more. I can only make one more minecart for now, but there will be a minecart here, and there will be a minecart there. That one's like being worked on. This one's in the shop. This is just one that's hanging. We could have some little circle things there. Then I guess we could actually use some redstone. Just like place some. And there is buttons in the game too, which I didn't realize. So if we craft buttons. Uh-oh. Okay. I'll have to go to the wiki for that one. I do not remember how to make buttons. But yeah, if I get a little redstone and I throw the redstone there and leave a couple little things there, I think that would be a cool little part of the 50 way back on over. Or if those are all really cheap or not. Thinking is then leave some of you some of you planted around. I wish you could put it up walls and stuff. You can make some. You can make some such creepy ambiance. Ooh. Okay, so the last thing I want to do is I want to place a couple buttons down stuff, but I need to figure out how to make a button real quick. We're gonna we're gonna head to the wiki. I'm going to go over how to make it. Let's see what it says. Every once in a while, I guess I have to. Okay, so it's too vertically. What in the world? That is such a weird recipe. You can't even place it. Place one there. Yeah, so you see, we got not blood, I promise. Just we got wiring and some. I don't need this block here. It takes away from the space a little bit. And then cover this. That whole area is a bit. I wonder what's a good way to block the light out from this. Light doesn't. I guess you do want some light in here. That's fine. I can't hate on it that much. Yeah, I'm happy with, I guess, how this room is looking for now. I guess we could put a painting on the wall. So seriously, sheep around. Oh, thanks. See, when you ask for it, you shall receive. As simple as that. So if we walk into here, luckily we made all of these sticks. See, I knew they would come in use. I wasn't mad at myself for making them. More of a, I guess, a creepy look. That is cool. You can put them through. What the skull? Put a little one right there. That means then we need to. We need to have that right there. Perfect. So I guess this room has a little bit more action in it now. Guess if I really wanted to, I could add a couple levers. Stack levers. That's a fun fact. You could have, let's see, a lever there, so then that will connect up. Not anymore, and then oh yeah, that I can't have it above the button. Oh, it could go there, so maybe it fills it with something. Yeah, but there we go. I think that, as it gets dark, I think this is where we end today's episode. I hope you guys had a good time here. I had a good time telling some stories and stuff, and I'll catch you guys on next time as we go off to do some more things. Bye! That's enough progress there. They don't need to see anything. They don't know what we're... No one saw anything.